Hey everybody, Jill Lancet. How are you? I hope your weekend was really good. I hope you got to do all the things you like to do, weather permitting, of course. Well, for a start, let's have a look at card sketch number 20. Now, we're just really nearly to the end of the card sketch series. This is a very simple card. I'm going to show you card sketch number 20. It is this one here. It is very simple. I have changed it slightly. I wanted this beautiful section of the Thoughtful Journeys designer series paper to play a very important part in this card. You'll see it's got some of the beautiful pretty peacock in it. There's little flashes of it here and there. So I went with the base card of pretty peacock. This is of course the gorgeous pretty peacock and gold ribbon. I hope you can see that sparkle there. I just heat embossed a simple message in gold, tying in the gold. I've added the gold pearls from the Blooming Pearls. All the details will be below the description. So yeah, let me know what you think of that. Very simple. If you need to make a card in a hurry, let that designer series paper be the star of the show. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. We're coming to the end of that. I think we've only got two more card sketches left. And then what am I going to do with myself? Oh dear, I could be in trouble, guys. Now, last week I showed you, hang on, before I forget this, because I forgot it last week. Here it is. Hang on. Last week, was it last week? I think it was last Sunday. I'm not sure. I told you about this opaque vanilla white wow embossing powder that I found. Now, I was hoping that it would be like a very vanilla. And when I put it on the card from the other day, it does look very vanilla. Stampin' Up! Do not sell this, so you'll have to find a source for wow opaque vanilla white. But I want to show you the comparison. Okay, here are the two colours. This is the white. This is the vanilla white. Now watch what happens when I put very vanilla underneath. Look what happens when I put basic white underneath. So you can see the comparison for yourself, I hope, okay? So, yeah, if you want an off-white, a cream, a very vanilla embossing powder, I can recommend opaque vanilla white from Wow. I have not seen too many cream colour / vanilla / off-white embossing powders. They always seem to be this brilliant white, or bright white, which is good in itself. But if you want a very vanilla, see if you can get hold of that. I don't know where you'd get it outside of Australia, but email me here if you'd like where I purchased that. That's my email address right there. Okay, I'm sorry I forgot that last week. I had it. I just forgot to get it out. So now you already kind of seen a sneak peek of tonight's card. Now I'm doing a little bit differently. It's what we call an easel card. It stands up like this. But we're doing a technique called paper piecing, not piercing, paper piecing. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. Now, I did cut out all the leaves, and then I thought, why did I do that? They look exactly the same as if I'd coloured them. So I'm not going to do them. I'm just going to do the flowers, and we'll get there in about 2 seconds flat. I think that's all I had to tell you. Oh, my online store is there. yeah, so I've got some bits and pieces here, and I was going to do it in the, this is the Petunia Pop. I thought that pattern there might look nice. I've got some bits and pieces already die cut. I do need to die cut this little frame, and again guys, all the details will be below. So I'm just going to get my little mini Bertha out excuse me, and I'm just going to cut this. Now this actually cuts not only the frame, but it cuts out the centerpiece, and you'll see that in about 1 minute, so just bear with me. If I cut this out, we're pretty much already done. Oh, I've got to cut another thing out, but I'll do that after, okay? Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Just carry on, nothing to see here. So let's go backwards and make sure we really give that a good cut. Pop Bertha back up on the little shelf here where it's easy to grab, and put those up there too. So let me show you. This is part of, now what is it part of? The Unbounded Love die sets. So you've got this larger one, which is a solid, it's a solid shape. Now I've done it in the pool party, and it gives this beautiful little dotted / stitched border all the way around it. And then you can, let me pop that there so I don't lose it. Then you can cut the smaller one out. Now you can have either or. Okay, I'll show you what I mean when I say either or. Let me just get this washi off here. There we go. Now, it cuts out the center part, so if I wanted to reverse that and have the black in the background, I've got a perfectly nested little piece, but I don't want that. I want it the other way around, and I'm going to need my, where is it? My take your pick. Good grief, I had it here not so long ago. Never mind, I'll use my craft knife. So I just want this little frame. Now I'm very carefully taking that out of there. So this one does both pieces, okay? So yeah, don't forget that when you see that in the catalogue or whatever. So that's what I want. I want that little border, and it gives it a bit of an embossed indentation that makes that a little bit more interesting. So we'll look at that in a minute. Now I've got some stamping to do, and I think we should just start. What do you reckon? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this twice. Now I have no idea where my stamp and pierce mat is, so I'm just going to use this. It's got sponge on the back, so I want to ink this up. Now it's a really big stamp, okay, really big stamp, so I want to make sure I've got plenty of ink on this. I don't want it to not stamp properly, okay. Of course you could use your stamping platform, which this is effectively, but I'm using it upside down today. So I want to stamp that on here. Now, I just want to stamp that, and I'm pushing down relatively firmly just to make sure it comes in contact with the whole stamp. Sometimes these big stamps do not cooperate. And we'll just give it a second for that to soak in. Well, it didn't stamp quite like I wanted to. So I might actually have to put it onto my stamping platform. That way I can actually stamp it again if I have to. So let's have a look. Where are we going to put it? This is real life, folks. Real life. Okay. So that's got ink on it now. So now I've got to clean that. Hold on. Hold on. Things were starting out really, really well. Right up until the point they weren't. Just bear with me. Oh, that's not going to stick on there now. I just don't want that to mark my paper until I'm ready to mark my paper. Okay. Let's have a look. Should have done it in the first place. There we go. So we'll ink that up again. We'll start from now, okay? Just know that us demonstrators make mistakes also. Probably more than you ever know. I know sometimes it looks really easy, but yeah, we make it look easy because we use smoke and mirrors. Let's have a look. Oh, much better. I'm going to hit that again. There's just a couple of bits in the middle that look a bit light compared to others. Right, let's have a look. And then I'm going to stamp on the Designer Series paper, and you'll see what we can do. Right. So I've stamped that onto some basic white. Now I'm going to stamp it onto our Designer Series paper. Exactly the same stamp, exactly the same way. Right. Now, went to my first house auction yesterday. Never been to I mean, I've seen them on TV, but yeah, we went to our first auction yesterday, and it was, obviously we knew the vendor, and it was a little bit nerve-wracking. The auction started off slowly enough, and it was almost excruciating to be part of the audience, but the house was sold in the end, and it was a good result, and I think everybody was happy. And yeah, I would not like to be buying a house now, especially in the Sydney market. Yeah, it's just so expensive. Okay, so we have that now. Now I'm just going to pop this out of the way, because now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this piece, the basic white, and I've got a selection of colours here that I'm going to use. Oh, I just found my take your pick. Ta-da! So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, with the dark Pool Party, I'm going to colour in all the areas in between all of the flowers, because I want to tie the Pool Party colour in without necessarily colouring the flowers Pool Party. But yeah, I'll show you in a tick. Then I'm going to go around the edge, right around the outside, but I want to do these inner pieces first. So there's a couple of techniques happening in this video today. Let me see, another bit here. Of course you could colour the whole thing, But I just thought it would be more interesting to do some paper piecing. So we'll colour all the inside pieces first. And by inside I mean in the gaps of all the flowers. And now I'm going to outline this, and I need to outline it you know, not too far, probably just, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. But it's easy enough to do, because we're going to die cut around this. This does not have to be perfect. So yeah, very, very interesting to be well, we were rent-a-crowd, to be honest. They asked us to come because it looks good if you've got a lot of people attending an auction. And yeah, it was pouring with rain on the day, and so I don't know whether that put a dampener on it. But look, you only need 2 people that really, really want the house, and that's exactly what happened. There were only 2 people that were bidding on it, and but consequently it was sold, and it was very, very good result. And then we all went out for lunch, which, you know, is my second favourite sport, is going out for lunch. So we all went out to celebrate, and yeah. So there you go. Today I had my Rooty Hill class, which is held at the Rooty Hill Anglican Village, and that's always fun. It's a beautiful, they have beautiful grounds there. The gardens are absolutely magnificent. So it's a really lovely, lovely setting. And we have our own little room, you know, where we can shut the door if other things are going on. So yeah, and it was a lovely day. And I will possibly make something from those classes, this month's classes, in, you know, in upcoming videos. So yeah, keep tuned for those. Keep an eye out for them. And we made a bookmark, so just for something different. You know, they're great. If you give gifts of books, you can whip up these bookmarks and just add them in to make that gift just that little bit more personal. So yeah, keep that in mind, you know, when you're giving the gift of a book. I mean, I still read books. I don't know about you guys. I managed to read a whole book while we were away in Foster the other week. Something that I don't really get a lot of a chance to do. But yeah. So I'm nearly finished, and then I'm only going to colour the leaves. That's the only other thing that I'm going to colour. But I just wanted this pool party around here, just to, you know, tie it in, as I said. Just got one more to do. Now there's going to be some fussy cutting done here. So yeah, stay tuned. So there we go. That is the pool party outline. I'll just hold that up. That's the pool party outline. Now the leaves, I'm just doing them straight. This is light parakeet party, which is, but any green that you fancy. I'm just going to colour the stems in and the leaves. It's a nice light bright green, and I hope it contrasts really well with the Petunia Pop. So very quick colouring. Sorry about the noise, but that is the nature of these alcohol markers. They do squeak, so sorry about that. But normally I have, you know, a lot of it done for you, but yeah, you know, if you don't want to see this part, just fast forward a bit. And yeah. I just think this makes really, like, you know, sometimes you just want to make something a bit different. And, you know, it is a fun fold, as well as a couple of different techniques involved. So, yeah. Not too many to go now. And here we are in another Olympic year. Not that I follow the Olympics, but I know they've just started, and already there's been a few controversies. I believe one of the flags was upside down, and somebody had a wardrobe malfunction, and I'm only going on what the news said. I don't really watch the news, and I'm not overly fond of sport except like soccer, because my boys played soccer, and one of them still does. But yeah. Hi Maria. I know my friend Maria will be glued to the TV. Look, I'm nearly finished. Nearly finished. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Let's have a look. I don't think so. I hope I haven't, but I don't think so. Okay, so that's all the colouring that we're doing. The next thing involves fussy cutting. Now you might be thinking, oh my goodness, but these flowers are pretty much all attached. If you look, they're all attached to one another except this one and the buds. So this can all be cut out in one piece, which I shall do for you right now. So yeah, again, if watching somebody fussy cut is not your cup of tea, then look away. But let me explain how this is going to work. We have to cut either right on the line or just like halfway over the line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this piece a bit smaller so that I can manage it a little bit better. Okay, now what I found was the easiest thing to do was to cut the buds out first and then glue them straight on before I get them mixed up. So this is the same orientation. Oh, I didn't colour those leaves in. How did I miss that one? Crikey. Dear oh dear. Getting slack in my old age. Just bear with me. Just hold your horses, honey, and we'll be done. It's stuck out like a sore thumb. Don't know how I missed that one. Anyway, have I done them all now? Good grief. We'll find out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these little buds out, and they are going to be the first things that I glue on, because otherwise I will get them mixed up, because there are 3 and they're all of a very similar shape and size. So I'm just cutting close to or on the black line of the stamping. Now when you fussy cut, it's a good idea to turn the paper. You get a much smoother curve, and you can get into those little nooks and crannies a little bit better. Now again, I'm going to cut this so that I can deal with it because it's quite tiny, but I'm just going to show you how I deal with fussy cutting. And that's our first one done. Now the other thing I found was to put the glue on here. Now you don't want a lot of glue, and you really do just want to spread that out. So I've put that on there. That makes it a little bit easier for me to pop this into place. Now I will need my take your pick, because I need something to hold that down. So this is called paper piecing. Okay, so I'm going to do all of the buds just like that. I'm going to cut them out so that I can pop them straight down so I don't lose them or lose track of them. Now I've got a cup of tea. Oh, I have got a cup of tea here, and I may need to have a drink in a minute. Dear, oh dear. I mean, this can be a little bit fiddly, but opting to colour the leaves in is infinitely much easier than cutting. And it started like this. I cut the leaves out, and then I went, oh no, those skinny little stems. So I just coloured the skinny little stems in, and then I thought, oh, you know, when you have one of those dolt moments where you go, why didn't I just? I think that's probably the one thing that I say all the time. So this one is going there. And again, I'm just putting a little bit of glue and spreading that around. Like, yeah. Now it's, oh, there it goes. Look, just the tiniest little bit of glue. Okay. And then that is going on. Just like that. And then I can use the pointy end to move it around if I need to. There we go. There we go. Look at that. And it makes those flowers a little more interesting than just plain. So I'm going to do that third little bud, and then I'll quickly cut out the remainder of the flowers, because they're pretty much all in one piece, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so if this is not something you want to see, fast forward it, come to the end. But a lot of people like to watch this sort of thing. Especially a beginner. So yeah, be aware that I'm catering to all levels of crafting here, all levels of card making. And you might well know how to do it, but you know, somebody else may not. So a little bit of glue. I just found this was easier than trying to glue the back of this and then try and maneuver it into place. There we go. So if you cut on or close to that black line, it will fit in. It will line up with the image underneath. Now I'm going to cut these, all of these flowers out now. So yeah, you may want to go and get a cup of tea. Speaking of cup of tea, hang on, before I do it. Okay, I'm sure you'll have time. I'm sure you will. Now I'm trying to work out where I'm going to start. Okay, I'll start here. Now this can be a little bit confusing. Sometimes you don't know, was that a petal or was that part of that leaf? So it's good to have something like this to have reference to, so that you can just, you know, just double check before you actually cut that bit off. I'm sure I wasn't in camera then. I'm sorry if I wasn't. Sometimes you just need to go slowly, you know, don't, this is not a race. And here's the thing. When I did those ones, I didn't realise that they were all attached and I could go around the whole lot. So they were all done separately. And afterwards, there was another slapping of the forehead and I was heard to say, "Doll." But, you know, that's why I make the first card off camera. And sometimes you just got to snip those little bits off when they get in your way. Yeah, so that's why I like to have, there's no surprises. If I've already made it, I can refer to the one that I've made. And I've already figured out all the hard bit. Now this is where I have to check. So I'm cutting, where am I? Okay, I'm cutting around here now. Okay, so I've got to stop there, which is where I have stopped. Oh, actually that one is attached as well. Well, there you go. Just hang on, hold your horses. Oh, it is attached. Yes, it is. I went too far. Hang on. Now, don't worry. If you make a wrong cut, don't worry, because we're actually going to be gluing this down. So that cut will effectively disappear. And I'll show you when I've finished what I mean, okay? So I just cut one wrong, but unless you tell somebody, nobody will know. Now I cut up here and I shouldn't have, I cut there. So it won't matter, don't worry. It'll be all right on the night. But yeah, I used to really dislike fussy cutting, and I'm talking about only a short period of time ago where I would do anything to avoid fussy cutting. But now I quite like it. And the thing is, you're obviously making this for somebody that, you know, that you appreciate, and you want to make a really nice card for them. Now, I have to look again. I think I'm up to this part here. Yep, I am. Okay, just hold on. We're getting there. Now the designer series paper, I'm just going to cut this bit off here, guys. The designer series paper is actually quite sturdy. So, yeah, it's not flimsy by any means. It's a good quality paper. And let's have a look. Going around here now. Now I can cut this flower off. Just go around there to help me get into here, because there's a bit too much bulk there, but I need to cut that little flower out. So just bear with me. And at the end of the day, it really hasn't taken all that long. Now, I just have to check. Where am I? So, okay, we want to go around there. We want to go around there. And then we're up here. And when I glue this on, you'll see what I mean. Now, just got this little bit here to cut out. And I'll show you a little trick that I do when I am fussy cutting. Because sometimes the scissors will bend, you know, they'll bend some areas where you've had to go in and it looks a bit, you know, it looks a bit rough around the edges. So I usually turn it upside down and just smooth that. Just be careful that you don't actually bend something you didn't want to bend. And it usually smooths that out. Now I'm going to glue this on here and we'll be able to see how this is coming along, okay? So again, I'm just going to put some glue around the flowers that I'm going to be gluing down. And again, this, you really need to make sure that you only put this on the areas that you want glued. And that will be plenty to hold that down. Now, this will fit beautifully. It has to, because it's the same stamped image. Okay. So look how it cuts around the leaves. Isn't that really good? That's really cool. Now you can turn that over and give that a bit of a rub down with your bone folder. Beautiful. Now I only have this one flower to go, guys. We're on the finishing leg of this, and I have to cut around these leaves. So I'd rather turn the paper than try and get that in there, get those scissors in there. So we've got our little granddaughter sleeping over tomorrow night. I normally mind her on Mondays anyway, but her adults asked if she could sleep over, and she's such a good little girl, so I don't mind. And she's going to start school next year, so we won't be having her every Monday, and I will miss her. So, and that one should fit right in there, and it does. So you can see it gives these flowers a whole different look again, you know. So just a little bit of glue, we'll just pop that in there like that. And there we go. Now I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to give that one a bit of a rub from the back. Look at that. Something different, something really, really different. So now I have the die for this, and I'm actually going to cut the die, cut this flower out. Now all I need to do is to line that up, make sure I've got it in the right place, not the wrong place. Good grief. Okay, let's have a look. Now that looks pretty good to me from where I'm sitting. And if I've missed any of these pool party edges, i.e. the colouring in that I did around the edges, I've still got the ability to go in and do that. Now I'm going to cut that with my electric die cutter, so just bear with me. And then we have a bit of stamping to do. And you'll see how this card comes together really well. Okie dokie. Here we are there. cut it out beautifully. Look at that. Every single time. How gorgeous is that? Now, what I did also was to cut out one in Pool Party as well, because we are going to be able to see part of this. And I just thought that was a bit ugly. So, yeah, I'm just going to glue that whenever I find the right way. I'm just going to glue that on, and that's covered that. Okay, so I'm going to glue that on now. Plus, sometimes the die cutting machines, the plates will scratch up. I don't know if you can see those scratched up lines. It's from the plates. So it looks a bit ugly, not to mention our first boo-boo of the stamping where I've turned it over. Okay, so this is going to go on here now. That's also going to give it just a little bit of strength. Now look, they're so easy to line up. Yeah, they fit perfectly because they've both been cut with the same die. So we'll just leave that for a minute and we'll get on to the rest of the card. Okay, let's have a look. Now, I wanted to stamp also in the black our greeting, and that's going on our little piece here. So I'm going to ink that up. And it just says thinking of you. That way this can be, you know, it can be a multitude of occasions, thinking of you. I always think that's a really good generic greeting. So I'm just going to pop that there like that. Hope that's in the middle. Hope. I'm going to hold that down for a second. And then we can glue that together with the frame. Beautiful. So I'm going to pop a little tiny bit of glue. Now, if I had thought, I could have put some double-sided adhesive on the back of this before I cut it, but didn't think of it. So sorry about that, guys. Now you've got to watch me put some glue on. Now look, you don't have to go crazy with the glue, okay? Just little tiny dots. And if you get too much, you just spread it with the glue nozzle. There you go. That is plenty. That is more than enough. Now it fits on here. It actually fits over that beautiful detailed stitching, but it gives you the option to have either or. So again, we're just going to line that up. And here's another trick for you. If you can't get that to line up, or the glue sticks before it's lined up, you can just run around that edge with your either your Sharpie. I'll just use my Sharpie. Do it from the back, always do it from the back. And I'm just going along the edges just to disguise those little bits of blue, because you won't see them though, because we're putting this on a pool party background. But yeah, just in case, if you're a little bit pedantic like I tend to be. Done. Done and done. So now all we have to do is put the rest of this card together. Now I'm going to pop it there. I'm going to show you what we've done. I've taken our normal standard card base, but I'm making it, instead of cutting it this way, I've cut it vertically. In Australia, that is 10.5 by an A4 piece. Now I've scored it at 14.85, and then again I have scored that at 7 centimeters. So we're going to fold that. We've got all our bits and pieces just about ready. So I'm just going to fold that. This is called an easel card. Okay. Now, I want to put a panel of the pool party in the middle of the card. Because this is a black card, I need something light enough to write on, and I want to tie that in. So that is going to go straight in the card. And easy peasy. Let's pop that in. We've got a nice little border. This is mat 1, whatever your card size is in mat 1. So we've got that. Now on this little flap here, we're actually going to glue our beautiful flowers whichever way you think they should go. We're going to pop a bit of ribbon across. We need another panel. I don't like untidiness, you know, in the cards. So I've got another panel, and it's just about 1/2 centimetre smaller than this panel here. I'll put the details down there. So I'm going to put a piece of ribbon across here. So where is my, here it is. So I just want to pop some seal across there. I'm going to wrap this ribbon around and secure that nicely. Oops, too much. Now, it's not exactly in the middle. It's more towards the bottom of this little panel. And I hope that's right. Let's see if that looks straight. Nope. Just a little bit more. Let's have a look. That's perfect. So now with this panel, I want to glue that on there. It covers up that ribbon. It also helps to secure that ribbon so that it's not going to come undone. So, yeah, bit of seal on both sides and some in the middle. So that's a bit smaller than the portion of the flap of the card. So we've got that happening. Now we want to put this on here. Now we want to only glue part of it. Now you need to decide which way you want your beautiful flowers to go. I think I had it going this way. So now you really, ideally, you don't want it to go higher than the actual card base. But when this card is in play, like on the mantelpiece, you are only going to see that part. So we need to glue that. Now what I did was I actually held it in place and just popped a little line there like that, so that I did not put glue any further up than that. So I will use some glue because I want this to be really strong. So I will put the glue on the line and pop this in place now. So I can just check from the back to make sure, and then check it from the front. And that looks lovely to me. Okay. So we're nearly there. This little piece here will be propped up onto, what do you call these things? Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, so I like to have about 4, I guess, maybe 5, one in the middle, just so that this is not going anywhere. Just take these off. Stubborn, that was a stubborn one. And that's going to go about there. That is our little stopper, okay? So I'm going to pop that down about there. I want it reasonably straight. I want it in the middle. I've got a bit of room to write here, and then this will hold that up just like that. It will stand it up. So now we've got to make a bow and pop a bow on there, and this card is done. And really, we did a lot of things to this card tonight, and it didn't really take all that long. So yeah. Now, don't forget, you can play around with bows till the cows come home. But yeah, you decide how big you want this bow. You decide what is the more attractive side. I think that's just a smidge too big. And I'm going to pop a glue dot on there. And trim that once I've got it on there. Okay, so I just press the bow into the glue dot, peel it off, and I'm going to pop that in there like that. And I did it at a bit of an angle. Now I can trim these off, trim them off to whatever I want. Here we are. We've got this beautiful, beautiful easel card. We've got a lot going on here. It looks neat from the back because the other one you can see when you colour through. Yeah, I think they're nice. You let me know what you think. Here is sketch number 20. Don't forget about the what do you call it? Oh, the embossing powder in the vanilla colour as opposed to white. If I put white up this end and vanilla up that end, you might be able to see that just a bit better. How's that? So you can see the difference. If I put the cream up this end, the vanilla up this end, and the white down this end, you'll see that they match very, very well. And that is, don't forget, that is the Wow. No, that's the white. It is the opaque vanilla white. So it's going to match with our very vanilla. So yeah, that was a find. I just stumbled onto that. This is card number 20 in our card sketch series. Very simple card. Sending hugs can mean for any occasion. Then we have this beautiful card here, which is the first one I made, and then this card here. And they stand up like that. And thank you so much for your time. Yeah, it's actually been a longer one than I thought. So I'll see you all on Thursday night. Take care. Yeah, see ya. Bye. Oh, don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe and share. Good on you. Thanks. Bye.